stepping in, wanting to wipe that slate clean from one. And there's that form we've come to see so much of this season. So our patrons, again, need to be reminded to stay still, those of you helping us in the audience. Doss will have this left for par. Oh, and it just glances left, just having some trouble focusing. We saw that earlier today with Ulibarri as well, but we'll see them back on track, no doubt, very soon. Oh, Doss lets one go. Doss lets one go. He's taking it on the chin there. That'll be a double for Doss, unfortunately. And these disc golf fans, quick to show their appreciation for the talent here today. Beautiful Douglas firs here in the backdrop of T3. Signature tree of the state of Oregon, featured on the license plates as well.
Keep it down, buddy.
Our spotters in weight now, the number 3. Seen a variety of approaches here. Most commonly, the towering highs are cutting back left. There's 2 guardian trees right next to the landing spot. They can threaten access to the pin on the second shot. So, see no doubt, some great action going on with our Masters group just off to the left, about 150 meters. McBeth turning left early. That did catch one of the guardians, but down safely. He'll have a straight visual access to the pin. Wysocki, your leader by 1 over McBeth and Ulibarri. Much higher. Much different heights, but very similar result. Ulibarri will be very close to identical shot selection. And that makes it all the way around. There's a patch of dirt, soft soil there. That's ideal for a landing spot with no skip value. Doss moving forward. Just caught the inside edge of the only tree there at the tangent of the turn. Fortunate to have some activity in the gallery there, not part of the plan for Doss. Want to remind our viewers in the audience watching on your mobile devices, it's no problem if you care to mention to someone, please respect the players with noise. Anything that could distract you can distract others. See a number of productions out in the gallery following here. Greg's Art Productions in the house, too, collecting for a YouTube station, a multi-channel platform that he operates from with hundreds of thousands of viewers. Certainly sure that we'll see some disc golf activity out on the YouTube. So thank you for all of your efforts. Doss, after taking the little deflection, will be the first to shoot. Semis. Found him out of bounds left. After clipping the pine on the right. Looks like all four of our gentlemen have a straight line approach. Doss will want to float this all the way down the mid-range. It's a little over 300 feet. 10-foot ceiling. And that that is proof of practice. Wysocki has left himself a sidearm second shot as well. It's a slow move from left to right. Going out over the out of bounds and back in. That has a chance to kick to the right. There is Ovi over there too. And there's the green flag. McBeth is about 15 feet or so behind the Ulibarri tee shot. He's got a tree in front of him. He too will have to bend this left to right with OB the entire distance on the left. Wind is picking up. Our heat has leveled out now at 87, 88 degrees. Oregon in the midst of a long, extended, hot streak, if you will. About 20 degrees higher than normal temperatures leading up to the Worlds. Mother Nature really has shared the stoke for us this week. Thank you. Didn't see an indication yet, but it's very close to the out of bounds behind the basket to the right. Here's the Ulibarri drive. Came up high early. That's going to take a hard right. And all four of our gents have made it out onto the putting surface of hole 3. Once again, we remind our viewers we're going to make a move over to the right and jump to holes 6, 7, and 8. And if you haven't seen some of the action on 7 yet this week, hey, stick around. I'd like to thank our very hardworking and dedicated PDGA staff, please. The Executive Director, Brian Graham, just an ace of an individual at top. Rebecca Duffy, the President of the Board of Directors. Andrew Sweeten, the Big Dog Tour Manager, Competition Director. He's here in full force with wife Janice this week. Mike Downs, just an impeccable dedication behind Mike and his event management skills, preparing every venue on the NT and the major tour in grand fashion. Zach Schaefer, PDGA intern, newly chosen. Sarah Nicholson, memberships manager. Matt Gregoire, social media director. Nate Doss now. We'll enjoy the sound of chains here on 3. Oh boy, a miscue, unfortunate. Now Wysocki for birdie. Hot sun beaming down on the Prodigy Blue. Oh, just flipped out right somehow. McBeth will be putting back at our cameras. Looks like he went out of bounds, folks. That back edge is 21 feet. Minus the meter. And McBeth pulls the trigger again to save par. That's unofficial, folks. I did not determine whether he was out of bounds, but nonetheless, great putt and focus. Here's Doss. And well done. Ulibarri will take the birdie on 3. Intense action here, folks. Some shuffling being done at the top. McBeth, we find out now, was simply taking the balance of the full meter of relief from the edge of the out of bounds. So par for McBeth. Excuse me, birdie for McBeth. Scorekeeper give way to our players. It's a hot sun beaming down on the pad here of number 6. We're on a 3-hole stretch of 6, 7, and 8. Just waiting a few more moments for the gallery to be assembled and cordoned. Another great bit of work being done by Mike Downs and his crew here. Sensational stage for championship disc golf. Defending champion on the tee. 280 feet. Slow uphill fairway. Rocking a big dent, just missing the ace. Earlier. The wind is right to left, so it's pushing it. Yeah, that is real close to a ring around the pin there for McBeth. Good judge of distance, Ulibarri. Well, I think that similar route, he just about put it in as well this morning. The wind picking up now, about 10 miles an hour, slightly less, cotton seeds, clearly showing the orientation. A lot higher than we've seen. And I like that as well. It's a little bit past the pin from here. Flick will of course be a little more susceptible to this wind. No problem, tracking right at the pin but early. That'll get up real close for Wysocki. Here's Doss. Has yet to find his putting groove. Expected soon. Just a tracer bullet right at the base of the disc catcher. And we talk about maintaining and generating and regenerating focus. That's what this afternoon's play is about. Take a look at some of the mental strengths you'll see displayed. You've heard before the science of birdie after bogey and bogey after birdie. So balancing the mind, body, and spirit, very important to championship disc golf. One thing's going through the player's mind right now, that's for sure. This is one of the largest galleries the players have been able to be enjoyed by in years. Thanks to Todd Andrews, his award-winning local organizing committee in the city of Portland. Stumptown, domo arigato to gozaimasu. It's funny, some of our fans are showing signs for shout out. Just saw a sign that says, "Hi, Brian and Ann Mintz." I'm not sure what that means, but there's some proud people out there shouting out to the world. Haven't seen any John 3:16 signs yet, though. No rainbow wigs, so we look back at the Ulibarri distance. Appears to be right at 30 feet, 28 feet. Correct me, it's 23. Ulibarri visibly disappointed after that splashes out ham side. McBeth is already ready. Yeah, routine 18-footer for McBeth. Is it legal to say already ready? Check the rule book. Doss is underneath the basket. As far as the slope is concerned. 12 feet and a birdie for the Bend Oregonian. Val Jenkins on the bag for Doss. Wysocki will putt to match the birdie here as well. And 3 out of 4 are in for the bird here on number 6. Ulibarri. Just a slight misstep for the Arizonian, though. It's Championship Saturday.
Disc golf. It's in the air. Join the excitement at PDGA.com.
What he came out here with.
There was some in the cooler though. He just didn't grab.
It was only in there for a minute.
That wasn't.
All right, so how are we doing?
Stand by.
We join you now from the extremely long and narrow fairway of number 7. Paul McBeth on the tee after a nice long putt on 6. Excuse me. Medium putt for McBeth. Trying to avoid that left tree there. Just made it underneath. That little bit of advantage there is a big help to access to that second section of the fairway. Wysocki has been throwing some nice air shots, but finishing left could be by choice. But no less than a 15-foot sea length the entire distance. As an air shot ripped down the middle, flexing, trying to get under, and it does. It's downtown, but moving left and kind of shut off his access to the midsection. Great distance, but will require a little more math on the second. Ulibarri. Has been going to the air as well. It's out of bounds right. Excuse me, this is Nate Doss. And safely out into the middle. Pretty nice to just plop a 400-footer out there. And now we have Ulibarri on the tee of 7. It's a par 5. Going left towards the gallery. And that stays in nicely. There's no out of bounds there. So our gallery and patrons will move back just a little bit. 945 feet, the length of the fairway here on number 7. We've seen havoc and mayhem throughout the week here with some of the daring second shots as a forced carry at the end of this fairway, as you already may know. But the demand on the players that end up on the left half of this fairway and before the massive Douglas fir about halfway will decide and determine the orientation you can approach the fairway with. It's either going to be a sidearm flick and re-enter the fairway from left to right, very risky, but suited for the Wysocki approach. And then the backhanders, the right-handers, will need to glide something slow and parallel to the ground the entire distance. If we can't, we saw our Masters men on Wednesday reach to the 80-foot mark to the pin in 2 shots, so anything is possible. Out of bounds right, where we've seen some rollers end up. It's still to be anticipated. The cable deciding the out of bounds. Our patrons watching, please be aware as we get closer. Thank you. McBeth needing to go far to the right to see the amount of space available to land. There's out of bounds. The complete distance on the left. Gravity pitches these shots from right to left for the right-handers. So Ulibarri appears to be eyeing that angle of approach that we spoke to. Go out over the out of bounds and re-enter between this beautiful triad of Douglas firs. Just touched the tree before working its way back. It might have hit and dropped. And not a very loud response from the gallery down there. Sometimes cannot be a good sign. This is I'll tell you, the gallery showing a lot of appreciation for that. McBeth able to float that low screaming backhand all the way down on the right. Doss taking a look at the distance and picking his point to penetrate. Gentle breeze from right to left and behind our players. Oh, he's gapped this beautifully. It'll touch a little bit of the base of the tree down there, but very close to the collection area that has been sought after all week. To be there in 3 is just awesome, but there in 2 with access to the hump, exceptional. And after the long walk, well over 450, 475 feet, we reach the Wysocki tee shot. So he's basically halfway to the pin now in 1. He's looking at a flick. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you at home that can see that little glimmer of the disc hitting the fence down there, a true sign of success there. That sidearm able to navigate its way untouched all the way down to that very sought after, if I could call it that, safe zone approaching the mound. Another difficult set of putts here await everyone unless you can place it on top of the hump. Saw Owen Scoggins play this perfectly earlier today, finals. Now we're looking at the Ulibarri lie, and he's on the drip edge of one of the 3 massive Douglas firs on the left edge of 7. No room for error. And Ulibarri be able to get out of that bit of trouble there under the fir. He's able to advance about 50 feet. That will help a lot. He's got a light at the hump now. If I can say that again, it's basically what it is. It can resemble a mound, like it's about 8 feet high. You've been seeing this troublesome players all week. Ulibarri trying to avoid any loss of focus. It's going right. Makes it over the carry. And he'll be able to see and give it a run from there. Make sure I had a chance to thank the balance of our PDGA staff here, Sean Sinclair and Jeff LaGrassa. Just invaluable. What a great crew, too, to bring all around the nation. You're watching the best in disc golf here, folks. World Championships each year. PDGA's all call to its membership around the globe. Nathan Doss.
I'm here with Jim Oates, our PDGA World Champion Grandmaster. Jim, you've had quite the week. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame, and now you just won the World Championship. And you had a little battle from one of our locals. He got a turkey, followed it up with an ace, and that put him into play. Tell me what's going through your mind at that point.
Well, you know, I knew Craig had shown all week that he was a very good golfer, and we knew the schedule was going to fall to 3 rounds at Pier. The 2 final rounds before the semi and then the semi. So we were a little nervous. You know, it's his home course, and I managed to hold on and scrape out a lead of 1 stroke getting here. And then it was, you know, I think I don't know what made it work here, but I was blessed that I threw a lot of really nice shots here during the finals, especially on the first several holes. It gave me a little bit more of a cushion and winded hole. But I'll tell you, when he hit those 3 in a row and then the ace, that was like, uh-oh. You know, he went from being 4 back to being 1 back. It was pretty much a big turning point there, yeah.
Well, going back to when I said you were a recent inductee of the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Jim, tell us, what does that mean to you?
Well, obviously, you know, when you enjoy something as much as you do with disc golf, and you try to promote it as much as you can, and it's been a big part of my life, obviously. It's nice to be recognized like that, and to be, you know, recognized as both a promoter and a TD and a player was really flattering, and it was an honor to be inducted by my mentor and good friend Mike Travers. So that was great.
Jim, you deserved it very much. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your world championship.
All right.
We love to watch you play. You have the most unique off the tee pad. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. All right, great. See ya.
Staff and the local staff keeping our gallery going in the right direction. It's a great problem to have. A huge group of onlookers enjoying this championship golf.
Yeah, don't go tumbling down.
Just walking up on Ulibarri now. He's from a very crowded area. To the right of the green is about 25 feet. Oh, and Ulibarri sticks it from the bushes. Our camera angle. Sure to not bother our players. McBeth from the base of the hump. We have 17 feet in distance. Basket. Drenched in sunshine. And it stays in. Look at the keen banner. Proudly holding the disc. And Doss.
I'm here with Kenny Climo, our PDGA World Champion, Masters Champion. Kenny, you've had quite the week as well. I was talking to Jim Oates about the Hall of Fame. You're a fellow Hall of Famer, but your round started off with a crazy roller. You got stuck in the tree. You and Barry were battling out the whole round. What came over you to pull out this win?
I don't know. I mean, you talk about battling it out. We played every round together. We never were apart. We never were more than 2 strokes apart at any point throughout any round or after any round. So that is like a really huge battle when you're just neck and neck with someone the whole way through. He might have taken a 2-stroke lead on me. I might have taken a 2-stroke lead on him, but we never got farther than that. It was amazing. But yeah, the last 3 holes, it was. I really thought it was kind of over after I made that bogey and he made the birdie on that 1 hole to take a 2-stroke lead with 3 to play. But you know, it's golf. You got to play till the last hole's finished, and I kept plugging. He threw a long up shot on the 15th hole, and it cost him, or I guess the 13th hole, it cost him to miss the putt because he was about 40 feet away. And then the next hole he threw it a little bit short, another tough 35, 40 footer, and he missed that as well, which kind of opened the door for me to tie him up. And went to the last hole tied, and it was, you know, game on. And both of our drives were right next to each other. So it was like, who's going to get it? Who's going to put the shot up there? And when I saw him throw his shot, I saw someone around the corner, the spotter or someone went, safe. And I knew that by him saying safe, that means it was over by the line. So I knew he had like a 45, 50 footer, and I just buck up and just make sure you throw a good shot here and have a fairly close putt, and it's probably yours. And I probably threw the best shot of the week on that hole that I threw in practice or anything, and put it on the chips. Dropped it in. It's a really easy way to win, but a very stressful way to go about it.
You're no stranger to world titles. Everybody knows that you have multiple world titles. Is this one more special than other ones, or is it about the same?
Well, this one was a bit more special because 2 years ago I won the Masters and Barry was second. Last year Barry won the Masters and I was second. So it was more like a rubber match. So it was also to be the first person who has won multiple world titles in Open and Masters, first person to do that. So that made it a little extra special that I was the first person to be able to win multiple Open and Masters titles.
Now we're going to go back in time a little bit. I was talking to Jim Oates about him being a fellow inductee to the Hall of Fame. Do you remember the time when you were inducted, and what was that to you?
You know, to me, I thought I was inducted a little bit young. My accomplishments were there at that point, but I was only 27 years old. And usually you kind of should be in the twilight of your career before you get inducted into Hall of Fame. So it wasn't as special to me then because I was so young, and it didn't hit me as hard as when you're older, and it kind of, you know, it means a little bit more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still very special to be in the Hall. I'm appreciative of being in the Hall. I just would have liked maybe for it to come when I was a little bit older, maybe over 40 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So are you playing in the USDGC?
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for that? And are you ready for Pittsburgh next year for the Worlds?
I am ready for both. My wife's parents are actually grandparents, live up in Moundsville, West Virginia, which is not far from Pittsburgh. So I think I'm going to bring the family up there, and we're going to make it a little family affair next year. And it's going to be fun.
That's great. Giving a shout out to the wife, my fellow West Virginian.
Hi, Layla. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Logan. Hi, Keegan.
Well, Kenny, it's always a pleasure to watch you, and you really bucked it up on those last holes. And I mean, it's great, Kenny. Congratulations on another world title. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Climo, our Masters PDGA World Champion. You're always a great interview. All right. So Katrina will be coming over.
Vacation destination in the just absolutely epic surroundings of Wildwood Park in Georgia. Steady Ed Hedrick Disc Golf Museum. Full pro shop, 3 incredible courses, awesome staff, the Hall of Fame, disc golf's only Hall of Fame. And by Intvw Disc Golf. That was a pleasure stopping for a moment to share with Dave Donapace. Looking at the Discovery now, Ulibarri asking where's the driver. We just have one spotter down there looking.
Do you have an eye on it?
Looking for the Ulibarri drive. And I'm in the almost the exact area where it came tunneling down. Got 3 or 4 spotters now working, and we have it now as Jeremy Coling there on the Discover with the help of a couple others. So, always a good thing to leave with what you came with. So Ulibarri will be able to size up his 3rd shot now. McBeth. Breezes off his right shoulder. Oh boy, McBeth has skipped off the top of the disc catcher and settled out of bounds. About 12 to 15 feet coming back for bogey now. Ricky Wysocki wanting to capitalize with the birdie here. Looking back behind the baskets, there are hundreds of fans. And that too is low for his release. Normally very aggressive and flat. Unfortunate. Now Doss's distance is, I feel, inside the McBeth distance. He must have skipped and stayed left. There's Paul now right above his shot, so he'll mark and retrieve later. And that's unfortunate. Now we'll go back to Ulibarri. And safely in for the Ulibarri par. As we mentioned, McBeth will have this left for bogey. He'll take a meter in and take it down to about 14 feet. What a set of circumstances here at the top group. Sun just multiplying in temperature, it feels. Beth saves bogey. Now Doss has had to endure a long wait through all that discovery for Ulibarri, and the Wysocki McBeth Ulibarri putts still will come in for this enjoyable section of the final. And a birdie for Doss, and that too will wipe a bit of the sweat off the brow of the Oregonian, now out of Bend, soon to be married in October. What a day for you folks at home. You're watching live on Disc Golf Planet. Thank you, folks. Let me try and sneak by you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right behind you. Thank you, folks. Nate Doss taking the tee for the first time this afternoon. Slow but sure, steady. All our players working their way through the 9 holes. This afternoon's feature. Hoping you can enjoy the size of the gallery. All here for this championship disc golf match. 3-time world champ Nate Doss on the tee. 625 feet separate the players from the disc catcher. Par 4. And he puts it out into the wind. That'll flex back. All right, there's OB right. Safely. A launch by Doss. About 5 to 6 miles an hour of breeze available out in front of the players. Left to right. This Wysocki flick will go out well outside the out of bounds and come back. Sent his front foot down early and just totally got air underneath it. That's out of bounds right. Bit of a hiccup. It's a wide open fairway. Don't forget it's a par 4. Ulibarri with the flick as well. He's got to fight to get back in, which it does. It's been his basic staple shot this week. And McBeth is going to guarantee the no OB too with the sidearm. Good choice. This is to maintain the ground that he has. And you could tell by the audio, for our viewers, the audio of the Wysocki release had that big thud, and it seemed like the release happened before the front foot was on the ground. That'll allow a lot of unneeded air to get underneath the disc. Unfortunate. Looking back at the scoreboard. Wysocki trying to manage and maintain. First time this close to the end of the event and with the lead. Can't say enough about the efficiency of the PDGA staff here and the local crew, allowing our players space and our patrons vantage points. An exceptional day that Mother Nature has provided. Now, Uli will have this remaining 330 feet. Just let it go right again. Oh, he's asking for it to fight back. And unfortunately, that will be out of bounds. He'll have that distance left for par. Wysocki made it, went in about 6 or 8 feet high, so it shouldn't be in too far. So, on the other side of the fairway, much different scenario, but Wysocki being on this right half will have a interesting angle of approach. That sidearm's cut perfectly for this wind. Fairly steady at 5 or 6 miles an hour. Look for the pitch of the flick to go out over the hump where our spectators are located and come back towards the pin. Garrett Girthy on the bag for Wysocki. Wysocki will take the meter. Careful not to get this too high and carry right. Gotta watch out for this. Oh, I believe that went out of bounds as well. Yes, we're getting that indication from the gallery about out of bounds for Wysocki. Just unnerving almost watching the activity. We've got some folks just in the bushes. It looks like 5 or 6 people. I didn't see any restaurants in there, so McBeth will also use the sidearm. But about 300 feet, he turned that over. It's going to have to cascade down or have a downhill putt. Not bad. Pin high. Not, again, not speaking to any criticality at all. Just used to seeing so many of these gentlemen's shots just go right at the base of the pin. Now look at the crush by Doss. Laced it out fairly high. Look at that puff of dust right next to the pin. The Doss approach right underneath for his birdie. Ulibarri drawing on plenty of skill. He's been in this position before at the top, in pursuit and being pursued. Never over till it's over for any sport. Disc golf is truly at its most dynamic day today. And Uli dropping it down safely next to the pin. Love that left for a single. Another huge thanks and appreciation to the World's Committee here under the direction of Todd Andrews, Jeff Haggerty, Jeff Middle, Michael Phillips, and Chris Bellinger, bringing out their best for this week's event. Wysocki, after the out of bounds, will have this for single bogey. Oh, just over the rail. Nicely done by Wysocki to save the single. Go back to McBeth. Just a few inches over 20 feet. You can hear a pin drop here. And McBeth in. Doss with another birdie. And Ulibarri safely in as well. Yeah, we hear the scores there. Birdies for McBeth and Doss, who will maintain the box. Wysocki and Ulibarri with circle fives. Just 2 holes remaining, folks. Wysocki, 1 throw out in front of McBeth. 3rd place, Paul Ulibarri. 6 back of the lead. Excuse me, 4 back of the lead. Nate Doss now within 7. Those are unofficial scores. The board has not been changed. asking it to come back to the left and center, and it does. Any available wind is in the player's face here. It'll pick up as we get closer to the halfway point. Just 2 holes remaining. This is the par 5 that we've spoken to so often this week, is having a much greater chance at eagle. So we hear the reaction there, meaning McBeth is awfully close to the out of bounds. Now prodigies, Ricky Wysocki. It's ripped. It assumes that glide position. Perfect placement. Now the Arizonian digs the hole. Eagled it last round. Asking it to flex left. We're behind our patrons following our Men's Pro Open finalists. 14th fairway. Very attractive to the longer arms. Doss, Wysocki, and Ulibarri eagling the hole in the semifinals this morning. Wysocki was 3 feet from the pin in 2. Wide open fairway. Now you can see just how close McBeth was from the out of bounds on the tee shot. Just inches. McBeth will throw first. Roughly 500 left. Maybe a tad under. There's barely any wind aid at all. All power. It's asking for it to turn. It's going to fall left. How about that for distance? A little approach shot there. Doss. From just a few feet inside the McBeth distance. Probably playing under the Discraft banner for years now. Came out right early. Just gliding along the tree line there. Oh, that'll come to rest. Well short. Don't see any out of bounds indication there yet. And have not spotted any OB over there. Just haven't seen many shots. But Ulibarri. This is ripped, flexing over to the right, dropping down onto the pin. Exceptional. Wysocki and Ulibarri just 6 feet apart on their tee shots. Now we do have a bit of a trees in our faces here. I'm standing right behind Ricky. And my guess has this at 450. It's leaning left again. Creeping towards the out of bounds, but safe. Just underneath for long putt for eagle. All three of our gents throwing up onto the surface there will have a favorable lie. Doss just back a little bit, unable to get a bit to fold back left. It's been a pleasure being here all week in Stumptown, Portlandia, Rip City. Lots of enjoyable sights, sounds, super friendly population. And hats off again to our host city this week, just rolling out the red carpet for the PDGA World Championships of Disc Golf. Thanks again to Tom Elder on the scoring. Don't forget, you're enjoying that up-to-date, up-to-the-minute results there at pdgalive.com. Shout out to the Buck and Doe Double Black Diamond Fribsy Ranch in Kansas City. And thank you to Spiritual Guide Tavish Carduff, Fred Smith, for your support. Looking back at the distance for Doss, just under 180. It creeps up nice. Doss so proud to have made the show. It's for some, the only goal, just to make that top four, to be able to perform in front of disc golf's throngs here in Portland. Wysocki for eagle now from 50 feet. Hey! That's an eagle for the young one. The proud prodigy hurler carries out to a roaring, massive gallery. See, when he let go, he put a little extra something on it, got that nose up, and just a few feet behind McBeth. He has about a 6 foot, 7 foot ceiling of a tree branch directly over his line. Virtually calm here. He's looking for it to cut left. Yeah, you got to put a little more extra velocity on it sometimes. Just a minute extra second, split second of possession is going to pull right. Ulibarri is coming up to within reach to address. And again, that ground-shaking eagle by Wysocki, the latest breakthrough here in the Open Finals. Ulibarri will be next to play for eagle here on number 14. .37 feet. Oh, and he walks it in, but splashes out over the right rail. Have to settle for birdie. McBeth will be out still. Safely in for birdie for Paul. Doss will wait for gallery to settle. This for birdie as well. Way to hold the energy for our men here on 14. And we grow closer to our final hole, ladies and gentlemen. Scoreboard coming by here shortly with the official results. Be able to update and share that with you. Hundreds of fans making their way. There's some time for them to assemble. We'll have to take an extra couple of minutes to let the hundreds of fans work their way out into the long, vast fairway of 15, our final hole today.
Disc golf. It's in the air. Join the excitement at PDGA.com.
So Wysocki with the Eagle 3 will now take the box on the final hole. Just a wide open rip. Figuring right to left. And don't forget that path, the 500-foot mark from the tee. Nate Doss after the Eagle birdie finish. Throw next. It's nice to get out to a spot and just let one rip for the young one. Over the path. McBeth may choose to press this. Just a few extra feet isn't really going to aid much on the second shot, though. Low, safe in the center. He knows what the scoreboard is doing right now. Look at the skip value on this. Going past the path into the shade for McBeth. Ulibarri, as we mentioned earlier today, giving some attention to his right elbow, but it doesn't seem encumbered at all. This is crushed. Plenty of space to return, which it does. And Prodigy well proud of their young Ulibarri. And we see our leaderboard giving way to the newest news of the day. Wysocki and McBeth tied at -68. That's right, tied as we enter the fairway of the final hole in today's 9-hole match. Paul Ulibarri, a handful in third back, and Nate Doss now one back of third. And what a show you have been enjoying today, folks. We are so lucky to be here in person, but those of you at home watching on Disc Golf Planet Live, hope you're in a good spot for a high drama disc golf at its best. See ya. Fairly strong group of folks assembling around the scoreboard in disbelief. Those of you at home heard the roar after the Wysocki Eagle. Will Schustrick, Dave Greenwell along here for the show. cameras are just to the right of the center of the fairway. Ulibarri in the shade. Now taking a look, he'll come back and address. Just a few feet behind the Ulibarri mark. Jeff LaGrasse just sitting downside to me. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Gracie?
Just freaking out on this show. It's amazing.
It's the most incredible finals I've ever seen.
The massive gallery here is really affecting the energy as well. Ulibarri from about 430 feet. It's got to turn and then settle in. Very risky over there. Appears safe. Shout out to BullseyeDiscGolf.tv. Steve out here on the toe. Thank our course crew. Shout out to Jeff Middle and his band of brothers here running the Riella ropes here for the gallery. Not an easy job, but again, a great problem to have. Massive throngs of onlookers. Love it. Doss will get a wind read as well as move some of the chat out of his foot space. .315 feet remaining. This is a direct line at the pin as well. And saw some heads rock down there. That could have been almost in. Great read. Wysocki, complimentary angle. Don't forget, we're tied at the top. McBeth and Wysocki deadlocked on the final hole of the finals. Gonna let some photographers and onlookers and run, Forrest, run, we're saying to the spectators in the blackberry bushes. And Wysocki now able to quell the distraction. He's using his driver as the mark. Putter is out. This has been his choice, and angling back towards the pin. Yeah, we're getting an underneath symbol, or a signal from some of the gallery down there. Outstanding. McBeth will have to watch that result for Wysocki and match. So it looks like a birdie is necessary here to call. McBeth's footing has a little bit of worn, completely clean, dry, and dusty surface. His marker mini right on the edge of the only grass available. His footing is actually a dip as well. Looks like a big footprint on a muddy day. Could be tricky. He's taking a low, direct approach with the mid-range. McBeth also working to match suit with the result of Wysocki. Drama at an absolute high on the day here, ladies and gentlemen. The world champions will be crowned in all divisions later today. Some of the results already in. Those of you on PDGAlive.com can see those. Those of you watching on your Apple devices, hope you're enjoying that Apple TV. Yeah, baby. Thanks again to Keen Footwear for presenting this year's PDGA World Championships. They're creating quite a stir in the sports world. promoter, those are very welcome sounds. Those are music to a promoter's ears. What are we doing with all these people? So we're finding out now. Just concurring with Nate Doss that the Ulibarri approach was out of bounds. So we'll have that left for a single. Unfortunate break for Ulibarri. Wysocki now is going to putt for birdie. 17, 18 feet remaining to those chains. Very confident up and in for Wysocki to stay in the game. McBeth will putt next for his bird to stay locked at the top. Excuse me, Ulibarri just inches away. Great show for Paul Ulibarri. Championship play. Here's McBeth now, a must-have to stay locked at the top. We got a playoff, ladies and gentlemen. Tied at the top. Paul McBeth and Ricky Wysocki. Nate Doss. Outstanding approach. Will also card a finishing birdie. Well, any news you hear from here is all late breaking, so we're going to take a moment to regather. We'll be able to we see some congratulations between McBeth and Wysocki.
Doss. Three.
Probably the same 9. Is it going to be the 9?
So we have the Ulibarri bogey.
Jeff Woodhull. Just going to call these into Big Dog.
Nate Doss with birdie as well.
Where's the actual TD? Yeah.
And we see the card now being signed. Nate Doss next to witness and have a signature to complete his worlds.
You like that, don't you? Yeah.
Watching the results be affirmed and confirmed and verified here. Truly exciting for our fans. Can't wait to have it be officially announced.
Trolling up the scores, and they're going to be tied and have to go into the playoff. So I'm going to give those scores to you. Can you just confirm that?
So we have a 4 under, it appears, for Wysocki. Wysocki also to verify. It's coming in at 30. McBeth concurs. And Doss will give a final verification here, completing his worlds. Wysocki with a 4 under.
Yes, sir.
McBeth with 6 down. Ulibarri with par. And Doss with 4 under in our 9-hole final. Congratulations to our competitors, by the way. This is just amazing disc golf. We'll be right back after a brief break.
Disc golf. It's in the air. Join the excitement at PDGA.com.
Eco Star Destroyer.
We'll take it to the first tee again. There's the Wysocki sidearm. And that hit a tree early, too. So, surprise to us all, as maybe have shied away from the backhand roller due to the out-of-bounds shot on hole one of the finals. This broadcast being brought to you by the PDGA. Coverage here on Disc Golf Planet. Approaching 1,000 fans and wait of the results of today's match. Defending champ Paul McBeth on the tee. And he went for the roller. Cutting right towards the out of bounds. It's in, folks. Nothing lost. The Wysocki tee shot, a surprise to us all, being the adeptness of that controlled flick of Wysocki, rarely miscues. But he will have all of 300 feet remaining. I'll get a better sight of the disc here. McBeth rolling towards the out of bounds is probably less than 5 feet from the actual border, determining his fate. So, standing directly behind our Planet cameras, you can see Ricky in the sunlight here, dancing in and around the fairway to the calico pattern here in the shade trees. He'll have to take a knee, looking at gliding that sidearm up and close. He's quick to throw and skips to within 5 feet safely for his par. McBeth will have 70 to 75 feet for the title. And we can see just how close the McBeth result is. It's within 4 feet, inches, if you will. This now will present a gopher. Disc catcher now bathed in some sunlight. The flag mysteriously still. Two-time champ Paul McBeth will have this from 80 feet for a three-peat. Not high enough. Just touched the left rail, ladies and gentlemen, inches away from a third world title for McBeth. A reminder, folks watching in the audience, just stay still. Let our players finish their holes before you move. It's just an insurmountable distraction. It could be you. You don't want that kind of... You don't want to be on the end of that, thank you. Here's McBeth now. We'll need this. As we speak to the need to press from that distance for the title, McBeth will need to, no doubt, make this par putt to stay locked at the top. 13 feet. That's how it's done, folks. McBeth will move on to push Wysocki to hole 2. McBeth crafting a 6 under par in a 9-hole final. Course crew working hard to keep order amongst the throngs of fans here. McBeth relieved. That was a 14-foot putt that was 100 feet long, basically. Garrett Gerthy on the bag for Wysocki checking in. Even he looks like he's shell-shocked. What drama here in our men's final. Mike Downs, PDGA event manager, out on the scorecard. What an impeccable job he's laid out in front of himself this week under the direction of Brian Graham. And again, kudos to our event director, Todd Andrews, for him. Setting up a grand theater for this week's action. A long wait for our gallery, probably another minute or two. They're going to ask all of these folks to clear the fairways. Not really concerned with the rough, but just the fairway. So the concern here for most would be, even though your shot may craft outside over the out of bounds, to control the distance is best. There's a couple guardian trees that will block a clear putt if it goes too far. Wysocki, plenty distance, tracking towards the pin. That's parked. 10 feet or less is my guess. Ricky. to have let go of that shot. McBeth, excuse me. But don't hear that again. Paul McBeth now to match suit, 425 feet. And this has got a lot of potential here. It's flexing right at the basket. Oh, boy, a near ace in the sudden death playoff. We mentioned this shaded putting surface here, enjoyed by all who have been here. Our gallery will see a wonderful representation of its size and volume when we get up here on this green, folks. Today's show being brought to you by the generosity of UB Disc Golf and by Dynamic Discs. Thank you for your support. The PDGA and Intvw, both responsible for allowing Disc Golf Planet to continue. It's broadcasting the best in disc golf, reaching our 5th year. Thanks to our family around the globe, those of you lifetime members, watchers, viewers, friends. Your comments and support so welcomed. Sunny skies reaching the end of the peak temperature today, starting to cool within the hour now, dropping down to 84 degrees. Breeze will disappear once we get amongst these little cluster of trees to the right of the pin on 2. The second hole of our sudden death playoff. Now, situation. Paul McBeth, 24 feet for birdie to stay locked at the top with Wysocki. Incredible pressure putting by the 2-time world champion, Paul McBeth, to press Wysocki's 3-foot birdie putt. How about that? And the tie moves on to number 3. Exciting live disc golf action here, folks, on Disc Golf Planet. Incredible play, positive attitudes, and dedication gets you here. Ricky Wysocki and Paul McBeth. Paul, the 2-time and defending world disc golf champion, staying locked with the young prodigy powerhouse. Any 3-peat world title in any sport, anywhere, is a historical accomplishment. Shout out 3D Donovan in Oregon. Christian Max Vogt showing some support through the social media. Thank you, Christian. Wir sehen uns im Finale, Bilder. Wysocki in search of his first world title, winning in Japan this year. South Carolina's phenom, now turned touring pro. And he's reaching out for more height just to take out any risk of hitting the trees that are the corridor to reach around to the left. This slow and steady turning fairway, 540 feet. McBeth and Wysocki have thrown identical drives here. It's tight left. And that's large. Plenty of height. As we mentioned, there's a soft patch of loose dirt on the left. Entire distance, basically the middle section of this fairway. Good place to stop and avoid skipping. There's out of bounds left, the complete length of the hole. A rare occasion to have extended play here in the World Championships. Wysocki and McBeth, very experienced this year with the pressure of a large gallery as Wysocki endured and McBeth endured in Japan. I'd like to congratulate Kazuo Shirai-san winning the Senior Men Player of the Year. Dave Greenwell just owning his own chapter in history of disc golf, playing in every Worlds since its inception. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we're behind the Wysocki McBeth lies. There's only 10 feet in space between the two, but McBeth on the right will have a much deeper left to right orientation to the shot. The headwind is now from the left to right and in front. It's a par 4. (230 to 240 feet remaining. Chose the same gap as last round, going right at the pin, skipping past, but staying on the putting surface. McBeth overjoyed by carrying that out of bounds. Risky. Wysocki used this born and bred sidearm to match. Let it go a little early and low, but tracking nicely up towards the base of the flag. Impeccable shot choice and execution by Wysocki and McBeth here in the ultimate theater of pressure, Sun Life.
Close it off, George. Right there, George.
Okay, now McBeth appears to have skid a little outside the Wysocki distance. McBeth having to make putt after putt of greater distance. Very impressive. It's not easy at the top. McBeth for birdie. Wysocki to tie and move on. Birdie, birdie. Ladies and gentlemen, some unheralded excitement here in the World Finals. Terry Roddy on camera 1, Dustin Roddy camera 2, James DiStefano, and Cool Justin helping us in the field with the equipment. Rebecca Duffy always in the mix at the Planet helping so many things. Our leader John Duesler in Philadelphia in the bunker at the TriCaster. The World Championships of Disc Golf. The focus, Ricky Wysocki, co-leader, Paul McBeth defending champion and co-leader, set a life play here on number 6, 280 feet uphill. Oh, Wysocki catches a tree early and will still stay within the 33, it looks like. Right to left wind here will help the shots of both gentlemen work their way up the slow slope. McBeth, in witness of the error, going right at the base. It did take a bit of a skip too, so look for an interesting result there to leave for the putting distance for McBeth and Wysocki both. We know that Wysocki will potentially be a minimum of 30 feet. Just haven't seen where the sidearms settled. Walking up with our players now, you can just feel the energy as our players all focusing on the shots and the entire gallery all focusing on the players. Very exciting day in disc golf history. I'm up next to Hall of Famer Dave Greenwell. Just want to give you a second to check in and congratulate you on your how many worlds now? 33rd. Believe that. Dave Greenwell, Hall of Famer, perennial champion. I'll let you call the Wysocki distance. It's about 34 feet. Just to stay in the hunt for the world title. Oh, yeah! Wysocki unfolding. Plows it in from 34. Even for me, the basket looks like about 3 inches wide, so here's McBeth putting back at the gallery. Just to stay tied at 16 feet. It's in, folks. Unprecedented putting performance here in the Sudden Life playoff. You know where we're going now, the infamous number 7. Our camera working against the grain, if you will. Gallery making their way out to the lengthy fairway here. .945 feet, the length of fairway. We've seen a number of approaches. The first shot, though, key to that is to stay in the middle. Straight is great here on number 7. Excuse me for being absent, but working my way the best I can up to a better vantage point. It's just thrilling to be here, ladies and gentlemen. We're so happy that you can join us live from around the globe for Disc Golf Planet's live coverage. The key on this hole, obviously, to avoid the out of bounds on the right. We've seen that cable come in play more than needed, more than desired, that's for sure, this week. There'll be no way to describe the feeling here. Our fans, family, everyone just lapping up this exceptional play in our men's final. Here's the first tee. And Wysocki using the same disc. McBeth to match off the tee. And McBeth as well, safely down the center. You know, it's just awesome to watch the result of practice, practice, practice. But those of you listening and watching, can you only imagine in your wildest dreams seeing the discs travel this far, this accurately, with hundreds, if not 1,000 people watching the best in the game? My, how disc golf has grown. The power is now, and our numbers are great. Don't forget it. Turn on anybody you can to disc golf. Remind your family how healthy it allows you. Remind your friends and family how enjoyable disc golf leaves you. And we will grow. Hats off again to the Spotters Local 420 here at Blue Lake. The blue shirts just everywhere, just like an army of ants connected by a yellow thread, managing the crowds here. Larger numbers than expected, we're sure. And able to enjoy our massive gang of spectators here at one of the greatest theaters we've enjoyed at the Worlds. Don't forget, 940 feet, it's a par 5. Wysocki has left his drive out in front of McBeth, so almost as an advantage, McBeth will take the first poke. We've watched many times where flat right-handed backhand will go with adequate velocity, will travel the entire distance down to the forced carry. The end of the fairway is 890 feet. Any breeze would be off of the left shoulder, but barely evident. McBeth is good with the angle. There's a collection area down there. Gravity will pull it down and to the left. Executed perfectly by McBeth. Wysocki, different angle, has been eyeing this left out of bounds. Outside of the fairway anyway, looking left. He's going to potentially use that sidearm to go out over the out of bounds, 300 to 350 feet, and then carving back in between these massive, beautiful Douglas firs. 1, 2, and 3 in sequence. There's no relief from the base of the firs if you end up under the canopy. A true test for this amazing sidearm that's been developed by Wysocki. There's truly nothing else like it in the game. Oh, goodness. Wysocki will take maybe a 30-foot walk. Try to avoid deflation. Stay alert. It's a par 5. McBeth is there within, we'll safely say within 100 feet unobstructed. Wysocki now will need to get down to the end of the fairway potentially and then make a long putt. Oh, and he got a huge amount of skip there, and he's made it to the fence, it appears, from my angle. And great recovery by Wysocki. This, of course, puts the press back on McBeth to go for the putt here for the title and the three-peat, or stay back, safe approach, and press Wysocki to make his remaining distance. Saturday night. It's going to be big for somebody. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner in these competitions, folks, but hats off to the absolutely stunning play by all of our athletes this week. Going to have a chance to get with Mike Downs in just a second. Just real quick, Mike, we're in an exciting situation here, but have you ever seen crowds this big for a final?
It's such a fantastic thing to see. Oregon's got such a good disc golf scene, and they've all come out in huge numbers to support.
For watching your staff and the Todd Andrews group just manage this throng to a T. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, and couldn't do it without these guys.
Paul McBeth now will not need to press, but he does want to put it on top of the hump for an easy birdie or minimum par. Careful not to fly over. That kick back down. Not a great distance, but an interesting angle of approach to the chains. That disc catcher sitting atop the infamous hump. Keen banner waving atop, awaiting our players. A lot of pressure on Wysocki. This is his fourth shot. He's going right at the chains. Oh, and it too is hitting and rolling backwards. Tough break. Wysocki now laying 4. McBeth laying 3. Now we look at the distances here being negotiated. Sorry to be rude to any of our spectators trying to get the microphone reception within reach of the camera, but we do hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Trying to gain vantage point, just not able to get through here without any assistance. Finally was able to get some assistance from the PDGA to get access to, hopefully, the microphone reception. Wysocki trying to avoid that extreme heat. That internal heat. We'll have this for par. And it's in. Vital. McBeth will have an interesting putt from the base of the hump. He's laying 3. This will be a birdie putt. For his 3rd consecutive World Disc Golf Championship. And McBeth has done it, making history here in Portland. A lot of fans here. And unfortunately, Wysocki suffering a huge disappointment there on his 2nd shot on number 7. Oh, it's so tough at these events where you must designate somebody at the top. Just making way here with our players. And again, the drama.
Congratulations, guys. You both played phenomenal.
Stay right here, guys. Give us some room.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now live, our exciting Sudden Life playoff coming to a very dramatic end. Just first of all, I want to thank both of our disc athletes. Exceptional disc golf on one of disc golf's most historic days. Nobody loses in that respect. Ricky, Paul, congratulations. Paul, I'll go to you first. No one anticipated the tie. When you woke up this morning, thoughts? What was ahead of you?
Oh, I knew Rick was going to play. You know, I had to come out and shoot well. I had one bad hole out there, but I had, you know, many great holes out there. I was able to get to 10 under for the round and stay in the mix, and then that final 9, I made up the 2.
Speaking of that exciting final 9, Ricky, an awesome eagle there, also to press on hole 14, setting the stage for a very difficult but manageable birdie on 15. Unfortunate result, but you've got to be proud of yourself. Your climb to the top is steady and forever. Let's look at it that way. How do you feel walking back off the 7th fairway after that difficult second shot?
Well, you know, I knew I had to, you know, save my 5 just to make him have a shot to, you know, make this last putt, which he did. So, you know, he did a really good job doing that. But so after that second shot, I did the best I could on the hole, and Paul played really well. So, good job, Paul.
You've played so much together. You both had your eyes on the title. Paul, anything particularly special about this victory?
I mean, just against Rick. I mean, I knew it was going to be Rick and I battling all week. He was up there a lot more than I was. But, you know, just to be here with Rick is an honor.
Ricky, you've got a lot of fans here. So obviously some emotions here present. Again, I want to ask you your immediate thoughts on your performance. Are you forgetting that you are still the star? You guys are carving history today. Can't thank you enough. How does it feel, though, honestly?
Well, you know, yeah, we definitely are raising the bar. You know, Paul especially, you know, he's a really good player. And, you know, I think we're really bringing the sport to the next level. And this, as you can see with this last final 9, you know, is everybody coming together, and all the spectators is really awesome. So I'm glad we put on a show.
You have an enormous amount of fans, numbering in the tens of thousands, as you see on the social media. Both of you should be very proud of your performances today. Any special words you'd like to share with your fans out here around the globe?
Just thanks for watching. You know, you saw some great players out there. It wasn't teams, it was players, you know, pouring their heart out there. And just thank you guys for watching, and everyone back home and all around the world. Thank you.
Will this change your anything about you? You feel you're ready to forge on your next plans? You'll have the day to enjoy, though. But Ricky, where do we go from here?
Well, you know, I've been so close for the past 3 years, and you know, I'm definitely gonna keep working to get the #1 spot. You know, I'll be up here, and I'm gonna keep training, keep practicing. So I'll be back next year.
Paul, after a three-peat victory, what does this mean for your career, Paul?
It's huge. I mean, the only other person to have, you know, more than 3 in a row is Kenny, and that was 9. And I'm nowhere, you know, near looking at that. I got a tournament in 2 weeks, you know, at National Tour, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Had a big gap between 4th place and 5th, and no congratulations to an exceptional play in the semifinals and the final, both of you. Paul, where do you go from here?
Go relax, take a week off.
A whole week?
No, a few days. But I'll be at the handbrake. That'll be my next tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, just an incredible display, as we've said again. Our massive gallery enjoying some of the best disc golf we've seen in Championship Saturday as well. Our PDGA World Championships of 2014 has come to a close. We'd like to congratulate Paul McBeth, finishing in 1st, and an exciting sudden death, Ricky Wysocki, with an amazing display throughout the week here as we come to a close. Our event this week presented by Keen Footwear. We appreciate the support and the very massive allegiance that Keen has brought into the sport. All of our sponsors, of course, the PDGA and Intvw Disc Golf, all of our support yielding today's exciting finish. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage all week. Thanks to all of our viewers around the globe, and to UB Disc Golf and Dynamic Discs for your support. On behalf of our entire crew here in Portland and Rebecca Duffy in the fairways, I'm Crazy John Brooks saying thanks for joining us. We hope we'll see you next time on our Disc Golf Planet schedule coming real soon. From everyone here in Portland, Oregon, thank you for joining us at this year's World Championships. I'm Crazy John saying thank you and so long from Rip City. Congratulations.